Honorable Kennedy or in Japan, what to say?
Oh, Ken, hoye. Apomodin wo ho. Like I said, Jumano na Eden is tedious.
Okay.
Because you are looking at about 76 constituencies. Over 200,000 delegates. A book no. I also question to me a day. If you're more. So it's very tedious, it's very stressful. Obeka no edika ye. Bono ahafo Western North NHA or breaking a crack US Sukushia team Libya or NHA Modebe balloting. The idea is like Kwaba. But here or Kosaba. Then the on time one day, no year preco. And the Napa Wachana say no what was that Savannah.
Okay.
No, I had the northern regions and also 5 northern regions also I had a Nawaba. It's good. One is capital intensive. It's also very stressful in terms of physically and it to drain you. Because Kasa Juma and they are trying to convince over 200,000 people. Even though won't even convince you of piano. But the idea is to sell your message to majority of them. And Yeguso is very well ongoing here. Yeah, GDS rather Bekasa, Yango Pompa next year.
So campaign message, to say looking from I think the last contest was 2023. Yeah, from now till and now I can say campaign message need to say the same campaign message and now anima is sent we are following the trend.
Oh, Ken, a campaign message here, Tiawa. Is anchored on normal you know. The can say obetimaji to me a day, I'm a party.
Okay.
Say yeah, kind of crash here, ordinarily no. 2028 is not a history of voting pattern. And then I might be able power, and power, be a 8 years in cycle. Ordinarily 2028 and any can say MPP a day, if you are being very honest to ourselves.
Okay. Like during the 8-year cycle.
8-year cycle, let's say, kind of history. 1992, I might be about 8 years no corner.
Okay.
Into 2028, if we are making a case to say, you can't go Japan, na you hear will be a or Saku drone. I will be to my day, because NDC, even though Mahama will not be there, after 4 years, Omunyemu tras a day, MIA. And here, seminar say, we need to be a very strong candidate, will be a party for near the agility, will be a Ghana for the agility. We say, a Kajidia, a independent because somebody has been marketed. Obi marketed. But at the end of the day, you can marketing for agility. The marketing will then translate into acceptability.
Okay.
And nipa yede aginitum. And your marketing say visibility. So baby ano, I see you share the difference between visibility and acceptability. Visibility is a presence or your but I don't just say ye chop ya na ya jiwatum. But marketability say but nipa yede ajiwatum. That is the difference between Ken and the other candidates. So he can nipa be brede aginidi. Oh, you say Ken dey, you say Ken but obi a say Ken dey already or can kre. Obi a say o Ken dey akokudru. Obi a say Ken dey o dey adwuma ma no obey. Obi a say Ken dey o hwe the track record nyuma obi bia o kan oyede oyo. So 2028 is about that courage. 2028 is about nipa o akokudru betima dey akogituma dey amai. And I'll tell you what Ken will not do in 2028. So Nyankopon pa na ekoto abana Ken candidate in 2028. Say easy ma 72 hours. At no point who came back to say after 24 hours wajaya day atum. No. He will fight till the end. Onye nkukuntum. He will not even go ahead of easy. Or he will fight till the end and make sure so be protecting no protect also the pieces and also the members of parliament. And also one important thing a market message party for no jia tumuye. We know him to be fighting for the grassroots. Now grassroots is all fighting for Mokeke. You are fighting for them in what area, in what aspect? And in the case of Ken, what Ken is going to do, say Nyankopon na party for no ede eneba obeye no mam you obe create nyuma obeni ha ho hia me pa nyuma no jobs for one more certificate and also create jobs for non-certificate holders, which is also very crucial. Okay. Because one here yes a party for buy but at the end of the day buy so we need certificate in the MO. So Ken is going to create two kinds of jobs. One for certificate holders and almost any certificate. And open me pursue idea on my Facebook or on my Twitter. Okay. One idea is we saw Sadeba. So now you may be and in his private life and his private capacity and why now or And you will say the faith-based organizations,
okay,
the religious-based organizations.
Sorry.
Mosques, those community associations and religious associations. Instead, say, who sorry, Ken, I dream Paul Mom say, or be show much a partner, and they will also be operating businesses.
And sorry,
yes. And you back me chromo to say Domia, say Domi Presbia, who say be a show massy, maybe you might be in show factory.
Okay.
Domi Hona say, or to me recruit 20, and that Domi SD, no, say a show massy, it be almost so more the logistics and the resources. So be a place before some more Sasaka, or more office be kakra. And to be a farmer, who's a be a wash easier for it, no more to be a almost yet way plantation, we Roman for now a banner partner, no more say, assuming with that meeting, say Dominguano, you're sorry, Marco 20. I'm talking about the denominations. No, be a to me recruit 20 of or 100 church members as a 20 times 400. Domingo created 400 jobs. And that is a vision Ken is coming with. If you ask me, then I can be I'll tell you in 3 very statements or phrases. Ken is going to create jobs, Ken is going to create jobs, and Ken is going to create jobs. And one thing over.
Okay. And you go share delegates now. Now say or moving from this phase to the national phase.
Yes.
Jobs now no catch delegates.
Yes. And also obey to me some party for. What's that because ordinarily 2028, if you are talking about the natural order of things, it's not for MPP.
Okay.
And this we want to break, we also want to even break the 4 and repeat the usual 8-year pattern.
Okay.
I mean, chances are that a very Julius and I say, I see you do. But as my Kenyan say, one more bar, more banner. They will not want to leave power. What I say, after 4 years, and who he will be or day or could do for.
Okay.
Who he will be in a near day, I will be to me no my day. After so say, oh, within a space of 4 years, my bad year. But it's not John Mahama who is going again. It's a new candidate in our day, Oba. And 2 new faces in India, and not there or no Agyapong be tried. Amobi. So he's also going to win power because we say just near the Kenya. Say if you don't have power, I say obviously candidates obviously or rich ideas or superior ideas, obviously ideas and pragmatism. If you don't have power, say ideas in your first behind your day, because ideas never can them until mean day implement.
So can better G2 media ma NPP going to the 2028 elections. When Amman Fufu is even 2024 election, a constituency or JMO Edema NPP candidate, went me winning.
I think that one, you ain't say much for any entire say.
Okay.
So the popularity of a candidate matters in every election. We share a sense central. First, we can send off the account.
Yeah.
We on my back of 96 na Kenya day. If I get the facts or the figures, the year right, 96 no or buy. Proud to that, you win this city.
Okay.
I'll buy a party for no, and a Ghana for no, or no constituency for Saturday, a 12 by a man. Okoya said 24 years. Then he stepped out. Or step out on a party near day, a Lucy. It should signal you wanting that sometimes, and yet party in for a day, a 12 by a day, a man. But a certain individual, the influence in terms of our constituency, a was a same party. Omona party for no, and NASA Ghana for, and NASA constituency for her, so I try by the amount. I give you one example. In the case of Akufo-Addo, okay, the bra Akufo-Addo now why the highest office I know occupy a minister
of
foreign affairs and the attorney general, right? No one vice president for the past 8 years. And also a vice presidential candidate for 8 years. 16 years within the space, and he was not really at the helms of affairs, controlling things. In terms of visibility, yes, he was there, but now only be a who do be a bit immediate a benchmarking a judge. Yes, so Akufo-Addo's popularity in the history of MPP, we need the first round of election. Okay, 2008.
Yeah.
He won with over 100,000 votes difference. Actually, and the court time round of a went to mania, he needed some 0.24%, and no anchor ya a coordinator. So okay, so when Akufo-Addo win in 2016, or perform the 4 years in 2020. Na nipo Ghana for we say oh MPP there o ma anya ade but the Ghana for kan o so Akufo-Addo ya ade but the nkrofo na anya dey amo ano.
Okay.
Until people then started saying say for more for Nana. I don't know man can say for more for MPP because Nanado's popularity was so high then even after 4 years oh yes na now buy about take galam say yes na now buy banks who yes to Ghanaian says na now there or ya the appointees na anya dey ahamwa. So it should also gives you the idea and a clue say na this popularity then in 2020 na sad there a coalition. So to the sense that me this year to the sense that na crowd in 2020 about to acquire to enquire ni vote no esa course so kaya now 2016 we have 5.8 million. Okay. But then he moved to 6.7 million in that very short space of 4 years, So the point I want to say is the popularity of the candidates matter. Yeah. The people were voting for Kennedy Agyapong, they were not voting for the party. When Ken left, the people felt say, well. Now they are question for dreamers on say a lot of them crown Kwarteng a presidential candidate. No, Kwarteng presidential candidate when you home was higher at my pieces because election concurrent. Yeah. Interestingly, in the public 345,000 plus, on ballot center ho. One more to my pieces and still voted for our voted against our presidential candidate. So when people say oh, I don't know Ken Ntimanya saying Sita, it's a very simplistic logic that one, Ken's popularity was what was sustaining Asen Central City. O free mono, nkofo ni feel so mun o party ne hwe. Secondly, the presidential candidate ne koye no or underperforming. Nkofo we be kwa nkoto ama no mpo no ho ato ama ye pieces no.
So Akwesi, when you check leadership, it should always be evolved around Kwesi Kwarteng. So say Kwesi Kwarteng ni hodia nothing moves.
Yes.
And then take the leadership style of Honorable Kennedy or Agyapong. If Sequoia's onu ni hodia Asen Central MPP quote unquote is dead.
No, but you see, you also have to look at it from the dynamics.
Okay.
Senkofo pewasema.
Okay.
Again, Akufo-Addo in 2016 we have 5.8 million. Yeah. 2020 we have 6.7 million. When Akufo-Addo left the scene, and then Akufo-Addo anyama yay. Then why am I MPP in terms of so board of Bawumia-Kwesi winning election? Yes, so we had 4.16 million. So which means the people, the party no Akufo-Addo and Taban or the other or the DSC no the other day move. It didn't mean Akufo-Addo am working anyday am but also means say nipa na be the nabano party for any day entum. Enti nipa for instance be a parliamentary no party for the president and there no. I will say this is not the Kennedy Agyapong person. This is not Kennedy Agyapong. No. The people felt that they were not obliged to vote for him. So it's not really about say oh uniwa obintimi nya de enyo. But it has more to do with ufri hono. What is the vacuum? Okay. What I say? I don't say more be arguing about say the Ken's popularity and the Ken's personality and it's the same thing. Akufo-Addo 6.7 million. Okay. Akufo-Addo leaves the scene in just a couple of months, not even months, because it was still December 2024. Yeah. And our votes then reduced by 33% in the whole country. And even the southern regions, typically you realize that they are most of them are account regions, MPP aligned. Yes, MPP aligned. Or also stay by 31%. Despite the fact that we had even our candidates from the north, also stay by 16%. What are we talking about? Can you blame Akufo-Addo for that? You cannot, because his face was not on the ballot. Party no one why they are here. You continue to go party no one here in 4 years time. Party the say here. What I say? So the candidate matters. Nobody can convince me say the candidate does not matter. If you talk about DDEP, you cannot separate candidate in the coalitions from DDEP. If you talk about dollar, maybe another dollar, you found 1:4. 4 to 17. You cannot say the candidate was not part. What I say? Sabra Napko Nanko Fusu be 2 years and you cannot tell me say the candidate was not part. But on Kaho, assuming without admitting so on Kaho, but at the Bonnie Bia and at the Bonnie DB on Kaho, but the Bia by the end of the candidates in a year was in the government. It doesn't work that way. So I may person what I say candidates so yeah they a Kaho. Ain't for Bia day and two candidates near the acquire also. But say as an analogy in the area there, why will you blame Akufo-Addo for Bawumia's loss? Why will you blame Kennedy Agyapong for Bia on the contest election for the loss? It doesn't work that way. Let people be responsible for their actions and inactions. Okay, this is share Uti Venezuela. That's MPP presidential vote history from 1992 to 2024. I see 2 points. Okay, let me try and read from. So yeah. First time, no. My member
okay.
In 92, no.
Okay.
So MPP, you say Dr. Bawumia the entraso. But the way me might say for at in MPP ni abako same in the history of MPP no. Obi ayama na kwanya mana to ase bia no or demonstrate say obetimi e the votes na dey akwanimu.
Okay.
So the whole idea about second chance is contingent on performance.
Okay.
Why na dia intimi fa anya de enkobio.
Okay.
And you adubu here. Adubu here the first time graph no unya 1.2 million. Now the one says I been adubu here kra na Rollins no mo na transition from military era to constitutional rule. This abre about to who say some pick ballot box so no money had those 92 then. Yes, to adubu here 1.2 million. When him said adubu here difference on Rollins was 1.1 million. Aduba here no kofa the party buy no. On Rollins ko nya 1.2 million. Rollins beating 1.1 million votes. Still better than what Dr. Bawumia lost on. Ono ya mana nkobio. Party for no say wako entima anya dey. Anya dey. And then 96 they brought Kofo. Kofo buy no, what the vote share no ko 1.2 to 2.8 million. Almost more than doubling it. Eboa. Enti wuntimi hwe Kofo anim ka say even though we find vote na ko anim no, ye yiwa ye dey Efrem. What I say because he demonstrated the track record say obetimi bi aye dey. Aka ho. Then Akufo the first time. Akufo the first time we have 4.5 million. Okay, no crowd na make no di kan we need in the first round no.
Okay.
Ah, you call time how you dey and then
so me share graph here I mean say but my graph ni bi. So it means say Akufo do maintain Kufo voter original. That's 4.5 million.
Yeah, 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.5.
Okay.
But you see, the difference is that even though maintaining Akufo vote for the Jan, if you want to compare the difference between Akufo and candidate Mills, then Akufo even beat candidate Mills by 100,000 votes.
Okay.
So he actually won the first round. And Akufo called this 6.7 jar, Dr. Bawumia. Now Dr. Bawumia takes 6.7 also by 33%.
Okay.
And you share a trajectory up, then maintain, up, down. You don't say they enter also. And to go for so Dr. Bawumia, if you free her, if you so a not lentia or a cremonintia, nobody saying that. Nobody saying that. Nano chairman suppose some so penny. Dr. Bawumia buy a trouble man. Not come for a party, but say a trouble by the Emano. Nobody is playing religious politics. We are not saying say Dr. Bawumia because of an religion. Far from that. We are saying say no more if you check the data no one performer and based on that non-performance no. Yeah, the could be what because it took him a hammer 8 years and all the difference of 1.1 million votes with candidate Akufo in 2016. Yeah. And to what they 1.7, we are looking at about 13.6 to 14 years. One and that to watch all things been equal. That is why we need a fresh face. That is why we need a new face. In the spirit of revival, me quite sorry Presby. Presby are sorry Kotoda if we be in Kenya day. Esom. Ebu etimi fa prophet bi no abasho ne abede abaya sorry. Onu so betimi Konongo. Na akofa Konongo sofo. No one dome for abede abaya sorry. And maybe bia say bia dome sofo ro nya hadio. No. Dome sofo no yade. But there comes a time I'm pen for kwase in so church to my day. After 16 years of being in the helms and leadership of the party as a vice presidential candidate and also vice president of the party. Papa no wa yebi and 100% wa yebi. But baby a party need them see you to me pa dia ehu here will be a party for the ejinidi. Here will be a kasa party for the eti. Na party for them fananko na 2020 intimi de enko win election. Okay, so kwase kwate kasaba for a day ma ora Kennedy or hine Agyapong ne twinkomo ene anopai about the chances of Kennedy or hine Agyapong abra MP before eko omaba to also in 2026 January. Was it good summer for kase? Yes, MPP lose the 2024 election way back in 2022. Almost one kasa.
What is that party for them penny for be kase? Party has more lose abanokra way back in 2022.
Yes.
When things got out of
yes, hand. Yes.
What it be said? Or some now can it mean blaming Pabako?
Yes.
And it mean you need so very funny Pabako. So collectively, do you think it's in a party so more for 2024?
Yes, you see, my main show. Let's do it this way.
Okay.
In 2024 election,
yeah.
Assuming it was not Mahama and any other candidate bar for NDC, I come home back to
okay.
And assuming it was also not Dr. Bawumia, and let's say somebody like Chief Alan and the Koya Kada anonymous was also changed. At the national level, no, you cannot be simplistic about your analysis and say it's a candidate in the encounter. But to be fair, won't mean candidate, won't mean in any day, and candidate here. So, but for instance, if it will be a on one campaign, it will be about not votes by day, or the Zongo votes by day, no few or no more quiet day, and how do you reconcile the two? Share Ubia party for about 345,000 of them. Eko Tuaba, no more to my parliamentary candidate, but voted against the presidential candidate. How do you say a party? No? They are essentially saying say one more MP presidential candidate. You buy a quarter out of 276 constituencies, 199 of them are to TR. Your presidential candidate.
Okay.
Your 7 regions were when we need one constituency. How do you say that is the party? 7 regions, not even a single constituency. How do you say is the party?
Okay.
What I say? So yes, the party will take its responsibility, but the ultimate responsibility, especially over party for one more pieces, one more presidential candidate, and in the history of your Ghana politics, this is the only first time pieces outperform in terms of the total voter share, the nominal values. This is the only first time since 1992 parliamentary candidates has outperformed the presidential candidate. And clearly, they didn't like the presidential candidate.
I said, was he? Honorable Kennedy in Agyapong.
Yeah.
Ghana for Penno as president. Ghana for Penno.
Yes.
Dear research na moya most Ghana for Kennedy or in Agyapong as president.
Say. You need to step out and talk to Ghanaians.
Okay.
For instance, Oko Trotroma, a day na Ghana for the Eka. Almost Kennedy, the Okano Crest, I'm going to buy a bed. Yabeto. Oko Soria, a day na Soria America. MPP for one fucking Maya day, Yanto. A mere muano, or the Kukumase, maybe a boy see Tompa boy, then no mocha. Trotro for then no mocha. So one of the even tests in a research is also observation.
Okay.
Or observe one hour shot at the end of the one. And what makes Ken unique is say the confidence and the trust people places in him. So maybe I don't know. It's not really about Obi or she suit. Now and the Solomon when they started it, no. Now akwala or near Fana Boyabo. Now a camera banny a chat. Now or humble. Meanwhile, the person may not necessarily be humble. Who's a room higher misconstrue weakness with humility. And you will be at the second say somebody who is so passionate about getting job done. Almost kind of a temperamental. What I say? We are not presenting Ken because he's a spotless candidate, no. Or any part or on the strengths or on the shortcomings. But I'm saying say the basic character traits are a ebu of mine. Say akukodro, discipline, patriotism, honesty. It has more to do with discipline. Okay. My band man say hey na papa back conference say Amakofi Boa also here 10 billion Minister for Lands and National also here $10 billion. We don't need $10 billion. It has all to do with the enforcement issue. Is that the political will? And you'll be on the presidency better on the line.
It can't beat me a fight.
The issue. Non the party for kind of party for us. On one party for is able to dare his party people and challenge them.
It's not the more reason here. Nema a wee baby na MPP who nya kono for. If you want for some better about them MPP.
Then more reason.
Second, a support no akasa the party using quote unquote some unprintable words against the party.
I'm sure say
he was a member of parliament.
I'm sure say
on their ticket.
I'm sure say Ken no a Wednesday. Insia Ken. What the me the fancy to me nua ba me na wonya nchen me po asem ba. Me Ken na me di kaka. You are not saying he's a spotless candidate. Candidate we have more character traits so bia wo ne de.
Okay.
Say Dr. Bawumia people think so humble.
Okay.
But then go for say untimi en fair up decision.
So if he's weak.
If he's weak.
Okay.
And it depends how you see the ehono. In the case of Ken, as well Ken a can Ken the party for the atom. I said, what is the contest? The contest here, Obi is so passionate about getting results. Now, didn't see a party na fitted timer, a take party. Now, if you were a party here, the essay. Assuming with that admitting, say, Ken and some more catch a party. 2 years ago, even prior to the election,
okay.
It's a party in fire, and can you be a day? And no. Also, more party for. Party for a phone for no. Those are the people you should take care of.
So, how can Agyapong bring discipline to MPP when he himself? Some time ago, Ejina Bontiaka party most and Canada.
Make up.
Okay.
What's more party for? More party for. More and this is also a quite name say. But mind you, sir, as more can second the party for a time. Yeah. I remember one instant. My main customer me do na penny to me for. I don't have his permission. MP Bako to put his name out there. No, what can say? Ken defend or defend the party, and then will be a day. A issue against him. Nti kwasi okasa ya na Mama na yeboko ye dey kakra.
Okay.
Because o boss no nipa okoma omo a emre bi na ye nyina ye bo no mo say o ken de on twema ndc for ken de party ne say on twena and obi e use against no. Dey ye say ken say MPP for enkwasa for. What is asem?
Yeah.
8 minutes tape. And on makutwa be 1 minute 30 seconds. But if you listen to the full taper, this was the contest. President Akufo-Addo, opani a friend Gabi. Me nipa na mekotwa ho asem be die tuo.
Yeah.
And ese osafoma for na party mpanifo kakra no mo party for e Akufo-Addo Gabi fi. No mudi nkomo e ka party ho asem. Them say owre e friend osafoma for no. According to the records no o make comments bia na edentawantawa kakra ba on superiority complexes between Agyapong and Asante. So then somebody picked the phone and on record and some no more day or more can party new. We know they come out pro NDC station Accra FM so more. Now or minim die then the pakoere or pay. Then there is a feud between Mensia and the Agyapong. Quickly Akufo-Addo had to intervene by going to Mensia. Now Amania nse say obiano wonu nkoye no mu interest him say that was not the contest. So when na odu sika ye party and you see the party say na nka bibia no muntia e bia kwasi kwase do beka say oh ni party a we he nyansa nya de anymore. But Ken as bold and courageous as he beka to say no, let's look into the person's face nipa no ye no nka nje nipa ko say ade a wo ye no e jimisem. So it is not a case to say he was the DMP before the attempt, but always contest is very important. Say the contest are one more MPP for HCIA one multi record or the command station pro NDC station. Some cotton tape no, some do that almost brought a feud between the Asantes and the Agyapong and no friend say no. But no 8 minutes video, now for 1 minute 30 seconds. It's okay there, Omunipa. So for asem and busa obi also you say kind of disease so fast atem na me say why no did it atem what did you so far atem was it dead me praise be ni only the praise be there as of atem Jesus Christ about 2000 years ago owura asori dem ho a na o mu si ntonto e de nyame asori fie eye no man what did he do? He rebuked them, and the Ken only exemplified what Christ did 2000 years ago. As of obi no come asem say bi wo ho na e fa nkofo na eje nkofo japade na eje nkofo cars, and the charlatans hide under the umbrella of God. Then there was a Ken Ekofo president didn't know he has to go and apologize to them. You rather weaken him. Tinano afidie ba akoso okuma say let Ken be Ken. Let Ken be Ken so nche say bibi wo no ho na nyame anya de mienka no o henipa. And ne kura say mo haba fom kasa no no mebu ha say no boko, because you also have to understand the culture of the people. Ghana is naturally a conservative. And yet we be any team can say they see there a canon. But may create a certain template may weaken your leaders. You're humble humility. Ghanaians are more interested in Nipa what track record so big creative jobs are more than who they think is humble or not humble. Ghanaians are more interested in that. Humility, road safety regulations, intimate enforcement, sanitation laws, intimate enforcement. We are not able to create jobs. Yeah, decent living. Go check it WA World Bank or more report. Or say in about 10 years time about 1.2 billion job seekers. Out of that 1.2 billion job seekers, only 800 million, only 400 million of those jobs will exist. 800 million of them in Niho. Oba Ghana is unemployment rate 14%. One more year the same World Bank will tell you say 80% actually less than 3,000 cities. 3,000 Ghanaians was through. Now we let you mobile. Actually with them after we saw car, after we saw yere there. Na say you obekwa yi asoso bebonsa, which you are tight so you how do you live in your own country? The Ghanaian dream of be able to live in. How do you live such a decent life in Bawumia? And the memo we are apply school Canada. One more school mo just omoko. Okwa no wa ton ma me asase na bibi. No akota Canada. Okwa no ochiruba. Na ya this year aye ahwoho nkofo ye de ekroso in our own country. And then the Ghana Statistical Service will then tell you say 20% of Ghanaians are just terribly poor. Net ya emo. And the baby I do it's not been about yes will be a gentle, yes, or more gentle, and you're more calm, you're more humble. Which problems has he been able to solve? The baby I do we need somebody like Ken. We are not saying let Ken be Ken for the excesses, no we nipa, but we are saying that let Ken be Ken to be who he is in terms of the patriotism, in terms of the honesty, in terms of the discipline, in terms of nakukodro, no find day, emu omayano. One, ojitumi, two, create jobs. And the indiscipline of my own and your Juma administration. No, it won't work. That one can show it won't work.
Obviously, Agyapong, F1 pigment being cancer.
I'm sorry,
or F1 pigment being cancer.
Now, say if you in recent times, for the past 4 years, I say now 3-4 years or year, the new so at least from 2022 2023, but there is no person that has been vilified more than Ken. Look at how Bawumia is treating him. That when I take party penny, you can have him say, let's call the guy to order. Consistently, minimum graffiti January basically. Every day, what did he ban at him? To the extent that he has a show, TV, our running party people follow. As to how he built it, nobody knows. In the end, I catch on. People will say, who lead be a so or a humble, a super bia, or say Obiachi, not Yaki cancer.
Many so person cancer, Dr. Bawumia-Kwesi.
I don't think say Sanam Pesemeka. Then Pesemeka on say there are sometimes on Obi Yadiana directly. People feel say you are the ultimate beneficiary. As also a mark of leadership, you also come out and call the person.
Who is the ultimate beneficiary for Niabronya?
I will tell you who is not. Ken is not. I will tell you who is not. Ken is not the ultimate beneficiary of that.
So who is the ultimate beneficiary?
No, I will tell you who is not. But as for who is there, I leave it to the jury out there. Say they are Bronya or Yamahoy. What I say? And the whole
Honorable Kenny Abronya was special issue.
Special
beyond
special
normal politics.
Special day or Pidano or Buano or Manakwenya Baby. If he didn't free so a better tour by Yahuma, Ama by Yamakese. Special day. I said, Ben Intiminka. And then a young man, a chairman, gets up, opens up a TV station. Maybe on your free will be him. And then every Sunday, Bia has to attack a leading member of the party. Nobody cares.
Can I report it?
Oh, I don't think it's about. We are focused on our campaign. That's what I would say. We are focused on our campaign. Okay. A lot of that time, sometimes give time some time. Now, Unya, if there is any other test approved to be most consistent and most reliable, it's a test of time. So, Ken is focused on his campaign.
It looks as if the prophecies not somehow on your favor. Prophecies are Pia Bonteno. Muna share Prophet Bernard Chi with some of the prophecies now yet to your favor. Sometimes he defends the prophecy to the core, looking at himself as a personal interest be in Agyapong becoming president.
I elected not to respond to him because if I okay. Now sometimes you also don't let politics cloud your wisdom. Normally I say besepani kunya de hahabai. Benefose tasene banyansa fum. But the point is say, Bernard, so ye asemo can say no kre, say no kre. 31st say ebeba. And ebeba no say yesu maya no bi anya de enwi. Ni nyina na ewu ti ebehu. Ti banchenya e ja na be de ebechere. What I say, you see, we are not banking all our hopes on prophecies.
Okay.
Prophecies are 3 key characteristics. It can come to pass, it can delay, and it can fail. We a student of Bible's jurisprudence. You realize that even prophecies can fail. Okay. We are not banking our hopes on prophecies.
Honorable Ken Weshia Prophet Bernard.
Yes, Weshiano.
After sending up man.
Yes. Weshiano. I think he sent a birthday in a man of friend or Chiano. Okay. Yeah, it's the team who made that decision.
Okay.
You know, Ken is not really a prophetic person. Or a Methodist. And all the Methodists are the Protestants. Yeah, I see this, I saw this, I heard. Because Munipano, yes, I need too much. What
the prophecies needy?
I would say yes to some extent. Because you see, as a Christian, the Bible says that believe in my words and believe in my prophets. What I say. Until you can't be a Christian, only prophecy in the end. The only prophecies coming from fake prophets. What I say. And if there is anything like genuine, there is also fake.
Sure.
Yeah, or white or black. Other than that, there wouldn't be any mention point. Yeah. And you will be an abrabo and then an amount too, and fatal, kind of manipulations. That's why he doesn't believe in them. But I mean,
Prophet Bernard's spiritual assignment be to do on your behalf?
No, we've met him at our level. Say it was public. Make crowd me in the mood echo.
Okay.
Anna, the birthday so no Ken. Yeah, my Ken is their friend.
Okay.
I mean, you know, Ken star Ken in there as of them.
Okay.
By any friend. So on we share Bernard birthday on I mean so on so nipa. Sometimes you also have to use the human interface.
Okay.
And of course it's not only Bernard. And now also Pambabeka. Beneza. We've even at our level, the team's level, we meet men of God. But the point is that we are not banking all our hopes on prophecies. We are not banking all our hope on prophecies. We are going to work. For Nekasa. ebuo kwaso ahobrase kwaso kasa de kwaso kasa tren kwaso ye momo hu ade konti ade ken ba ye de ebeboa ye
nyame pam se ken win obemo showdown na
but Ken has the record say when we about Dr. Bawumia. Maybe the reverse should rather be say Dr. Bawumia win and experience the shock in 31st obey day because Kenna he has that track record.
Okay.
So lose to 2023. The following day he was on Bawumia's campaign.
Okay.
But I am very confident he won't lose. He will win and will reclaim the party.
That's